Welcome to Lesson 10 of Module 1 and 2 Investigating Science. Our do now for today: how might pool owners monitor the quality of their pool water? Why would this be necessary? So pause the video now to complete that activity. This activity relates to our inquiry question here of how is secondary source data used in practical investigations. And when we're trying to validate our conclusions from our practical investigation, we're going to look at secondary sources about methods of water monitoring. So we're going to do a quick overview of one of those articles in this video, and then we're going to look at some other secondary source data for your assessment task, which will add to your inferences and conclusions from your primary data and will help you analyze that information. So again, we're going to be looking at the water quality in Blacktown when we're doing this. So when we talk about methods of water monitoring in New South Wales, it is a water quality and quantity monitoring program, and it tracks how we are meeting quality standards. To do that, Water New South Wales monitors rivers, water bodies, groundwater, water storages, and the delivery network. And the monitoring is a critical tool for managing our water supply. So we can see here on the right hand side our monitoring that occurs in each of our different areas. And that is important to make sure that quality water is provided to consumers, but also helps to verify the effectiveness of the actions when the water is monitored over time. So we can see here that in different areas there's different monitoring treatments that go through this supply chain, and that results in the water that we get out of our taps. So to do this, there are two types of monitoring that Water New South Wales undertakes, and that's routine and compliance monitoring, and it aims to ensure that the water for drinking meets the standards set by the Australian Drinking Water Quality Guidelines, and then event and investigative monitoring. And this is based on different events and incidents that occur. And it could be in response to higher levels of rainfall and seeing the impact that has, or it could be for other events such as chemical spills, or if there's any algal blooms that they see. It could be due to contaminants in sources of water, and trying to find the causes of different changes in the water quality. It allows Water New South Wales to undertake some research to trial different methods and new methods to deal with risks or issues that occur. And then also to validate the models of water quality that they are using, and seeing whether the monitoring methods they're using are effective in treating water. In terms of Blacktown, water quality informs the health of the local waterways, and that there are 16 sites within Blacktown City, which come from 13 waterways where they are regularly and routinely sampled and monitored. They're looking at physical and chemical monitoring, and then looking at water bug populations and the vegetation that would appear in those waterways. For Blacktown City, they're looking at the waterway health grades, and they're calculated by looking at water quality, the water bug community, the condition of the vegetation, and then these are assessed against guidelines, and that results in an overall grade for each of the different sites in Blacktown. So for this activity today, this activity will allow you to use this data in your assessment task. So that you're going to perform a close reading of the 2017 and 2018 Annual Water Quality Monitoring Report. And so in your document, you'll see there are different levels of questioning there that I want you to complete. And then I want you to do the headlines activity. So looking at if you were to give this document a headline for a newspaper article, what would it be? And do you think your headline has changed based on the discussions that we've had in today's lesson, or do you think it would have been the same if we did this activity yesterday? And then I want you to answer the following question, which is our inquiry question. Discuss how secondary source data has added to the inferences and conclusions drawn from primary data. And our inquiry question: how is secondary source data used in practical investigations? And remember, going along and looking for secondary sources that you can use in your analysis, so in your discussion section of your assessment task, which will try and explain some of the results and what that means for the water quality of Angus Creek.